Now recognize the gentlewoman from California and chairwoman of the full committee, Mrs. Waters, for 5 minutes.
Thank you very much. Director Grewal, as you know, I've been focused on the problems associated with the lack of clear fiduciary standards for broker-dealers going back to the days when we were debating and drafting the Wall Street Reform and Consumer Protection Act after the financial crisis. I continue to believe that brokers providing investment advice need to clearly put the interests of their customers ahead of their own. This fiduciary standard is the gold standard to which all financial professionals who offer personalized advice to investors must adhere. Former SEC Chair Clayton, despite opposition from investors, approved the flawed regulation best interest, or Reg B1, calling something best interest doesn't make it so. For example, it relied excessively on disclosure to cure deep conflicts of interest problems. It allowed brokers to place their interests at par with that of the investors. Under Chair Gensler's and your leadership of the Division of Enforcement, the SEC for the first time enforced Reg B1. The case you brought forward showed that between July 2020 and April 2021, a firm and its brokers recommended and sold certain bonds to senior investors with limited financial wherewithal. While the issuer of the bond had clearly stated that the bonds are high risk and suitable for those with substantial financial resources, I can't imagine only one firm or a handful of brokers are engaging in this kind of practices and harming investors. Director Grewal, I know you can't talk about specific cases, but please do describe your experience in enforcing regulation best interest. Also, please address how, if at all, the broker-dealers have changed their practices. How are they better managing conflicts of interest? For example, do they offer the kinds of products and get paid at the same level that they need to do to prior to Reg B1?
Thank you for the question, Chairwoman. As you know, Reg BI became effective on June 30th, 2020. And after it became effective, there was a period of educating the market, and then our Division of Examinations went and conducted exams with a priority focus on looking at Reg BI compliance. That examinations process yielded a number of referrals, including the case you referred to, which is our first Reg BI action. It's a litigated action against a broker-dealer and 5 of its registered reps for selling highly illiquid debt securities to elderly retirees where it didn't fit with their investment profile. So that matter will be litigated. There are other referrals. Exams in its 2022 priorities has also indicated that it will be going out to look for compliance and to answer the questions you raised. Is it having its intended effect? Is it changing behavior? Are broker-dealers addressing conflicts of interest? And so it remains to be seen, but it's my hope with enforcement actions, with education, and with compliance that it's having its desired effect in the market.
Thank you very much. Director Grewal, as you know, nearly 2/3 of capital raised through our capital markets nowadays is done under various exemptions of the securities laws. These securities are not registered with the SEC, and investors in these securities, including pension funds, university endowments, foundations, and other large funds, do not benefit from the protections provided by the securities laws and the rules of the SEC. For example, investors often do not have access to audited and timely financial statements of the issuer or benefit from certain conflicts of interest provisions that apply to brokers that market these unregistered securities. Separately, but related, I'm also concerned that foreign issuers, including foreign hedge funds and private equity funds that raise capital in the United States, take advantage of these exemptions, and I'm concerned that U.S. regulators don't know who invests in these funds or where these funds themselves invest. Chairman and I have been working on legislation to increase transparency into this exempt offerings market. In the American Competes Act that the House passed earlier this year, there is a provision that would require issuers of exempt offerings to provide basic level of information to the SEC, including the beneficial owner of the fund and which country the fund intends to invest the proceeds of the offering. So, I'm over my time at this point, and you don't have to respond to this right now, but I will be getting to you to talk about this issue, and I yield back the balance of my time.
Thank you. I now recognize the gentlewoman